Rotate your phone.
Oh, are you here? It's time, I guess. Well, welcome everyone. It's been quite a week, hasn't it? We've been swirling here at First Lutheran Church, just trying to figure out what to do next as things change from one day to the next. So I wonder how it is to be you. What's been happening in your own life, in your family, in your workplace, at your school? Whatever you were doing a week ago, I know it's a whole lot different today. So I've been taking the opportunity in the last couple of days to reflect on the 46th Psalm, which begins, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth be moved, and though the mountains shake in the depths of the sea, though its waters rage and foam, and though the mountains tremble with its tumult." It kind of feels like that right now, doesn't it? Everything around us keeps shifting from one day to the next, and even within one day, it seems like what we thought we knew is now changed again. And that's hard. It's hard to wrap our minds around it, and it's hard to figure out what we're going to do next. And so if you've been feeling anxious or concerned, so have many other people. You're not alone. As I've been thinking about this psalm, I've been listening to that opening line, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." And it takes me back to the way we started this journey of Lent. Words from Jesus in Matthew's Gospel, which we heard this morning again. If you were listening to the YouTube presentation of the Lenten Journeys program this morning at 11 o'clock, Sherry Norquay from Faith Lutheran Church referred to a few quotes, including this one. And it comes from Eugene Peterson in his translation, The Message. There Jesus says, "Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense His grace." I've been thinking about that in the midst of all of the changes and the news that we keep being drawn into, wondering what's happening next, it just swirls, and it's so easy for our thoughts and our anxieties to just get carried away with all of that. Jesus invites us to come to a quiet, secluded place and just be, as simply and honestly as we can manage. And then our attention will shift from all of those things that have been stirring around us to the presence of God. A presence that's not out there somewhere, but a presence that's here within us. A presence that's so close to us that we can't even tell. Meister Eckhart, a mystical theologian from the Middle Ages, said this: "The eye with which I see God is exactly the same eye with which God sees me. My eye and God's eye are one eye, one seeing, one knowledge, and one love." God is so close that what we see is what God is seeing. That opens up a new understanding of how God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. God isn't up there. God isn't out there. God is right here in the midst of all of the tumult. And if we stop, like Jesus said, and rest simply and honestly as we can manage, our attention will shift to that presence. What does it mean, or what is it like for you to be you today? And what if you could take that into God? As you think about that question, we're going to turn now to Jim and Marty for a story.
Hi, it's good to be with you, and I brought my friend Marty, or Martin Luther, as some of you may know him as. And anyway, I want to talk to the kids because I know it's been a strange week for all the kids out there as well. You're home from school, mom and dad may be home from work as well. You're not able to do the things you usually can do, go to the places you like to go to. The world seems to be kind of turned upside down, and that can be a scary thing, no matter how old we might be. Well, that happened to Jesus and especially to Jesus' friends. And I want to share a story of how Jesus helped them through that frightening time, that scary time when they weren't sure what was going to happen next. The story is from the scriptures, and it's called The Storm. Jesus was tired from preaching all day. It's time, he said, to get away. Near the dock, some fishing boats lay, so they got in a boat and sailed away. A gentle breeze began to blow as the evening sun was sinking low. The disciples sailed across the deep, and soon Jesus fell fast asleep. But suddenly the wind grew strong. It pushed the little boat along. When thunder clouds began to form, the disciples knew it was a storm. The waves grew tall and splashed around. The wind made such a howling sound. The little boat pitched up and down until they cried, "We're gonna drown." Jesus, wake up! Don't you care that the waves are splashing everywhere? Jesus lifted up his head. He looked around and then he said, "Be calm, be still, O wind and sea." And it was calm immediately. The disciples couldn't believe their eyes. The storm had stopped to their surprise. But Jesus said, "You need not fear. Didn't you know that I was here? Have faith in God. He's always near." You know, that's a good thing for all of us to remember, especially as we go through days where we're not sure what's going to happen next. And sometimes we get a little bit scared or overwhelmed by it, like the disciples in that little boat in the storm. To suddenly allow ourselves, as Pastor Michael said, to be still and to allow God to become very much present for us. And then to remember, as Jesus said, He is always near. I hope you hang on to that thought and lean upon it as we move through these days, and trusting that no matter whatever might change, God is always the same and is always there. Let's sing together. There's a song that Dan has for us up on the board, Thy Word.
Hi, everybody. And we're going to take a second and switch cameramen so that we can get our percussionists to join us as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Thy Word.
Hold me to your side. I will love
Well, it's been good to be with you for this time this evening. We're hoping that this is something that we can share together on a nightly basis, on the weeknights of the week at 7 o'clock. A time like this to share in some music, some reflection, some encouragement of one another. As we're not able to gather all together, at least in this way, we can come together and engage with one another through music and song and sharing. As the storm continues to kind of rage around us, as the changes continue, I want to invite you to keep coming back to that awareness that God is near. And like Jesus in that boat on the Sea of Galilee, the strength to bring calm in the midst of the tumult is always with us. A number of years ago, I learned a simple chant from one of my teachers, Gerald May, at the Shalem Institute. It's a good focus point for that quieting that Jesus talked about. To come to that still and secluded place to pray and to allow our attention to move away from us and our worries and transfer that over to God's presence and the grace that God is always giving. The words of the chant are right here. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. Please join together with me. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. Changeless and calm, deep mystery, ever more deeply rooted in thee. May you rest in that deep mystery tonight and always.